Take a moment here to check into your breath. So important in this practice that we're just regularly noticing the breath. Sometimes our pace is quicker, sometimes it's slower, and that's all well and good as long as we're connecting with it. And then draw the palms together, thumbs to your sternum in Anjali Mudra. I do this to say, welcome to Yogahour. The word or phrase of the day is wake up. Our yoga practice certainly calls us into focus. We have to wake up to ourselves, and it makes me wake up to those things around me as well. So since we're starting early in the morning today, that seemed right. What do you want and need to wake up to a bit more? And then release the hands down, tuck your chin to your chest. And move the right ear over towards the right shoulder. Just pause there for a moment and walk the left hand out to the side so you get a little more stretch. Bring both hands back in, chin to chest, left ear over towards the left shoulder. Relax the shoulders themselves and walk the right hand out to the side. And then we bring it back in and chin down to the chest. Simple as that. Lift the head, open your eyes. Okay, and then we'll get to moving. Come on over to all fours. As you find all fours on your yoga mat, set the hands under the shoulders, the knees underneath our hips. And do cat pose first, just cat pose. So you press down through the hands, down through the knees. Really round your back and let your head drop. Keep holding cat pose as you do that. Pull the navel even higher up into the spine. And finding a lot of strength and connection, tension even, there in the abdomen. Do this for one more breath. And then come to a neutral spine. Take the hands out, a whole step in front of you. Tuck your toes and do downward facing dog. So pretty long downward facing dog here. Pedal the feet back and forth and shake your head a little bit, yes and no. And take the feet as wide as your sticky mat and lift all the way up to the tips of your toes. And then send both heels over towards the right side. So you have a little twist here, and keep pressing your hands down and forward to get a good lift all the way up to the hips. Inhale, lift both heels up towards the sky, and then switch the direction of the heels. Nice stretch through the right side of the torso, all the way into the right IT band there on the leg. And then come back to your center. Lower the knees down and do child's pose. Hips back towards your heels and stretch your arms out long in front. In child's pose, be on your fingertips. Lift the forearms, elbows, upper arm bones to the sky. And then walk the hands a little over towards the right side. Just like you did in that down dog, we're looking for more side body length and stretch here. Take the hands across the center and over to the second side. Okay, inhale, walk it back to the middle. Come up to all fours. Plank pose looks like the top of your push-up. Bring the feet in tight, squeeze the glutes, lengthen your tailbone, tone your belly. And then look slightly ahead of your hands. Your choice, stay here at the top of plank and hold steady, or add in up to 4 push-ups. And we're going for tricep push-ups here, so elbows go straight back, hug right against your side. From there, downward facing dog. Lift the hips all the way up. Step your right foot in between the hands into a low lunge. We want a full stride here. Knee over ankle, fingertips in line with the toes, and then lift your hands to your waist today. Wherever your hips are, can you take them up and back a little bit higher? It should help you transfer some weight into the back leg. That's a nice thing. And then come all the way upright in your torso and lift the arms to the sky. Look to your right and twist. So left arm out in front, right arm behind you. Getting in all those wobbles for balance here. Come back to the center, lower your hands down, and step all the way back to downward facing dog. Same thing, second side, step your left foot through. We find the long, low lunge first, hands to the hips. Remember, a little more lift and presence through that back leg. Stay plenty awake to the back side of the body. It's always going to help you with your balance. Come upright in the torso and lift the arms overhead. Twist to your left. So left arm behind you, right arm out in front of you. Nicely done. Come back to your center. Lower the hands down to the floor. Downward facing dog. Lower your knees now so you're in all fours. Knees can be together, but hands still shoulder distance apart. And lift your right leg up and back. Let's flex the foot and turn your toes down to the floor. Lift up on the inner thigh, tone the belly. If you're pressing down through your bottom knee, your right hand, it should make you feel as though you're lighter and lift up a little bit higher. And then extend the left arm out in front. So we've got opposite arm and leg lifted here. We're just holding. Now keep the right leg lifted, lower the left hand, and it takes some shift in balance, but as little as possible, lift the right hand up. So the right hip wants to open wide, open it only enough to keep your balance. And then lower right hand back down, both knees, and switch sides. Left leg up and back. Flex the foot, again point it down to the floor. So I'm trying to rotate the hips pretty square and even to the mat. Opposite arm first, extend out. And the thought is we don't want to be so weighted down to the mat that we can't get up off of the back of the palm of the left hand. So stay really high in the breath, in the body. And then switch hands. Right hand down. Take your time, left arm up. Again, that left hip's gonna open somewhat. It's pretty inevitable, but we're doing our best to keep things square. And then lower it down. Lower both knees to the ground and sit back on your heels. So this is a hard one, but we'll just do it really quick right at the beginning and see what happens. It'll wake us up even more. Lean forward and make an X in your legs. So I've got my right thigh on top, my right shin on top of my left. And then I'm gonna sit back on that. So my legs are like an X. And then take your hands right by your knees and say, I want to levitate. And then we have to figure out how are we going to do that. We're gonna press down through our hands, levitate our knees off of the ground. And then maybe try to get your feet off the ground too. And then lower it back. And then you get a second chance at that because there's two sides. Cross the other calf on top and sit back on your legs. I'll change my focus too. So my hands go right in front of the knees, and I kind of do a cat back to round and lift the knees off of the ground. And this might be my stop point, or I'm trying to shift that weight somehow, like a pendulum, to lift the heels up. And then it all goes back down. And then we totally change to lie down onto our back and lift your legs up into the air. So it's done, it's gone. Arms up to the sky, lift your head and shoulders off of the mat. Fingertips up to the toes as much as you can. Lift, lift, lift. Stay here. Lower the right leg down and lean to your left side. Take both legs up, lean to the other side, and lower the left leg a couple of inches above the ground. We take it up to the first side, to the center, to the second side, and to the center. Hug your knees into your chest. Cross at your ankles so that you got some momentum to rock all the way up and over to plank pose and into downward facing dog. From down dog, bend your knees and walk your hands back to your feet so you're at the end of your sticky mat. Keeping all 10 fingers on the ground, make your legs as straight as you can in a standing forward fold here, Uttanasana. And then bring your hands to your hips, point your elbows to the sky, press down into your feet and come all the way up to standing. All right, from the back of the mat, lift the arms up to the sky. Little crescent pose here. Interlace the fingers. Thumb and first finger can stay lifted. And lean over towards the right side. Keep your feet planted and push your hips to the left. So your whole body makes like a crescent moon shape. And then come back to the center. Go to the second direction. And back to the center. Take the arms straight ahead, make the palms face in towards each other, and bend your knees, sit into your thighs, way down into those legs. Try to get your belly all the way against your thighs. So we're gonna go low, low, low. Heels stay flat on the ground. You can kind of load back into your heels a little bit, that's fine. Stay with this. Keep planting your belly down against your thighs. Use them against one another. Stay exactly as you are in the legs, and now lift your belly up. Lift the arms more towards the sky into more of your typical chair pose, Utkatasana. And stand all the way back up. We're keeping arms overhead, making sure they are good and awake. Stand on your left leg. Without using your hands, take your right foot into tree pose. Place your foot onto your leg, no help of the hands, just get it as high as you can using core strength. Press your heel into your leg and your leg back out into the heel. One more breath. Lower the right leg down. And switch feet. Arms should be getting a little bit tired here, but you've got this. Keep trying to get a little more lift in the leg. And then again, left knee points out to the side and toes straight down to the floor. The more you can press down through that standing leg, it'll help rebound up. Okay, we take 2 feet on the floor. Exhale, forward fold. You get to go back down. Walk your hands out to downward facing dog. And then lift your right leg up into the air for three-legged dog. Take a big step forward into your long, low lunge. Warrior two, spin your left heel down, come all the way up. So we kind of circle open through the torso and then gaze over the right fingertips. Engage the muscles on the back leg. Pick up on the kneecap, tone your quad there. And then with your legs strong, sit a little lower into the front thigh. Breathe in, open up the front knee, closer to the pinky toe side of the foot. Lower the hands back down, either side of the front foot. Step through plank position. Hold plank or one push-up, straight down, straight up. Go back to downward facing dog. Lift the left leg up into the air, three-legged dog. Step it all the way through into your long lunge. And then again, warrior two. Spin the back heel down, open up so we face the long side of the mat. Extend the arms out in either direction. And then change your gaze over the front thigh, over the front hand. The higher we stay in the body and lifted in the hips, the easier we're going to find alignment in the body. As we start to go down lower, we have to keep widening out. And then lower the hands either side of the front foot. Again, step back to plank. You choose, hold the plank, whether it's toes or knees, or add the push-up, down and up. Go back to downward facing dog. And then nice deep bend in the knees, and again, walk backwards to your feet. Hands to the hips, point the elbows to the sky, press down into your feet and come all the way upright. Okay, this next little series is repetitive. It's just a couple of poses, but it really gets our cardio a little bit up. So we're taking our arms up to the sky like we were holding in tree pose. Arms are gonna stay lifted here. Little bend in the knees. Look at the front of the mat and take a giant step forward on your right foot into a high lunge. And then you just drop the hands down. You step back to downward facing dog. You walk your hands back to your feet. Nice long spine, come up, arms to the sky. You do it on the second side. Left foot forward, big step. Lower the hands, step back to dog. Walk the hands back. Stand up, arms to the sky. Okay, we're gonna repeat that series 3 more times. You can go at your own pace or stay right with me. So 4 series total. Bend the knees, step the right foot forward. Lower the hands, dog pose. Walk it back. Stand up, arms to the sky. Left foot, big step. Lower, dog pose. Walk it in. Stand up. So that's 2. We've got 2 more each side. Right foot. Lower. Back. All the way in. Left foot. I'm keeping my eye exactly to where I'm going. I laugh when I fall off balance, if y'all are unsure. When things are hard or I'm off balance. And in that way, we stay awake to exactly what's happening. And it's fine. It doesn't have to be perfect or right even. Step the left foot forward as long as we stay with it. We keep trying. Awake to what we need. All right, after you have finished your flow, lift the arms one more time. This is eagle pose. Drop the right arm under the left and come back to your hands. So we're switching it right up from all of that movement into something steady and balanced. Swing the right leg on top of the left. The higher you can cross in your thighs, the more you'll be able to wrap the foot to the back of the calf. Lean back a little, but lean your knees forward. So head and shoulders back, knees forward. Unwrap your legs, unwrap the arms, back up. Exhale, swing the other arm underneath. If shoulders are tight, hold your shoulders. If it works to hold the back of the hands or front of the hands, do that. Bend both knees. Should be left leg on top, as long as it's the second leg. And again, the higher you can wrap and cross in the thigh, the more opportunity that foot has to get back behind your calf. We're trying to work big toe down to the Achilles heel. And our tendency is to lean forward here in the arms. I want you to think knees forward, hips forward, shoulders and head back. Great, unwrap your legs, unwrap your arms, reach back up to the sky. Back to chair pose, bend the knees a little bit. And then take your torso all the way parallel to the ground. Weight on your right foot, tap your left toes back behind you. Slowly lift the left leg up, up, up. Squeeze your butt like crazy and keep lifting the left leg as high as to your waistline. Arms stay there, they're getting their work today. Set the left foot down. Little change in balance. Tap the right toes back behind you. This is awesome hip stability work. And lift the right leg up. We build long, lean muscles through this practice and stable joints. That's the work. Hands down, feet down. Lift the arms once more up to the sky. Exhale, down to the floor. Downward facing dog. Walk your hands forward and your feet back. Take a little moment here, several breaths in downward facing dog. Deep belly breathing every time. Inhale, complete exhale out. Look in between your hands and step your right foot up to your low lunge. Lower the left knee down and bring both hands to the inside of your foot. Okay, and then we'll heel toe the right foot out to the side so that you can lean more onto the left hand, the left side. And then we're twisting here. Look over your right shoulder and pull your left heel towards your butt. Stay there, or reach your right hand, hold on to your foot. Awesome twist, nice hip opener, and a deep quad stretch here. All things happening at the same time. Little back bend if you bend in the elbows, lean back. And then release this side. Keep the hands on the inside of your right foot and pop the back knee up off of the ground. Place the right hand flat on the floor and the left foot flat on the floor. Does this work? Lift the left hand up to the sky. If all of this is working for you, I should have done this on the other side. Right hand to the outside of the foot. I want you to keep heel toeing that left foot more towards likely the camera. until you can slide the leg back and you're in side angle pose. If you're thinking, how did that happen? Find your side angle. And then you keep the left foot flat. Pull the right knee into your chest and try to step it all the way back through to your lunge. Lower the left hand to the floor. Back in good old low lunge. Take a breath in here. Empty out, release all that came before. Downward facing dog, step back. Lift the left leg high, three-legged dog. And take a step all the way forward into your long, low lunge. We started with that twisted monkey pose, so right knee down to the ground, hands to the inside. And if I heel toe the left foot out to the side, turn it out a little bit. And lean your body weight more towards the upper right hand. Left hand to your thigh, pull the back heel in. Look over your back shoulder. You can stop the pose there. Next stop, hold on, find your foot. Pull it closer in, deepen the quad stretch. That bottom hand, can't see it right now, but bend your elbow. And then keep toning and turning, look up more. Slowly unwind all of this. Hands do come back on either side of the front foot. Pick up the back knee. Okay, so it's that left hand. And it's a big stretch, I know, to get the palm flat on the ground with the right foot also flat. Do what you can. So yours might start more lifted like this. And then as we work, left foot more towards the side. Maybe you can kind of lean back and find the hand, that sort of thing. And then swing your left foot into your side angle pose, to your side plank pose, side plank. And then we're going back into side angle, so that left foot tries to get it forward. And it doesn't have to be one step, of course. Take your time, pop it up, elbow to knee to get a little more reach. And then we take it all out of that, all the way back to downward facing dog. Either stay in dog pose or take it forward to plank. Let's go through one cleansing flow down to the mat. Peel the chest up for cobra. And downward facing dog. Lift the hips all the way up and back. We're forward again in plank pose. This time you get to keep the knees down on the ground. So knees down. All 10 toes on the ground, knees down, hands down. And then we're going to add our chest and our chin. It looks like a little grasshopper pose with the butt lifted. Hips lifted, so chest, chin, hands, knees, toes, down onto the mat. Squeeze it in. From there, slide the chest forward through, up into cobra. Squeeze the glutes a lot. Press down through the hands and feet, shoulders up and back. Child's pose, press through. Couple of breaths, let it be. And then I want you to lie all the way down onto your belly on your yoga mat. Stretch your right arm out in front of you. And then roll over onto your right side. And you can do either side first, whichever makes sense to you. We're all the way down on the side length of the body, and I've rolled so that I'm pretty close to the back line of my yoga mat, and that's one way to measure how straight up and down you were. For more ease and balance, you can kick your feet more towards the front of your mat. I want you to do your best to challenge yourself and be as straight as possible. And this front hand can kind of catch your balance. And I do want you to feel as though you're going to fall forward onto your belly, not back onto your butt. Okay? And you can stay down or prop your head up. Top leg. Step it forward. This is always hard for me to get the foot flat on the ground, and then we're trying to open up so that the knee faces towards the sky as much as possible. This is called endless pose. We're going to work some different variations. And then slide the heel in, if possible, closer to the leg, like you're doing a figure 4 shape. So I've got my outer left foot right against my thigh. And then again, pick up the foot and slide it onto your leg like it's in tree pose. Each stage should get a little more challenging with the balance check. Again, I want you to feel as though you're going to fall forward, if anything, rather than allowing yourself to roll back. Firm up through this bottom leg. It'll help you. Tone on the quad. Press through the pinky toe side of that foot. So you've either finished that pose or take it one more step. Hold on to your big toe and reach and stretch the legs straight up towards the sky. Some of you are pretty flexy and the foot could come over towards your head. Don't let that happen. Try to push it straight up towards the sky. This is about balance and control. Release and lower all the way down. So you can either roll through your belly to the other side or flip it all the way around. So Anahatasana. Reach to lie down on your left side. And again, I'm lining up as much as I can, solid on the back edge of the mat. You can prop the head up. It's a little bit of a break in terms of the heart rate, but lots of control here happening. Step the right foot forward, and we're trying to point the knee up towards the sky. That's what gets tricky. Like it wants to just fold in. We're trying to open up here. And then heel toe the foot so that it's right against the leg in a figure 4 shape. Should be just slightly different. And then slightly different again. All of these are progressive stages. So you take them or you don't. If you're sticking with the pose that came before, you are sticking with it longer. So right knee straight up towards the sky, really strong tone in the belly here, and reach down, push through the pinky toe side of your left foot. So stop and work there, or you go for that hold of the toe and stretch up. You could do this without holding on to the leg, right? Whole time, nice strong squeeze in the glute, press all the way through both legs. Lower the leg down. Okay, I want you to find downward facing dog. And we'll take that same pose, the same shapes, but back into our side plank. So from here, from down dog, I want you to balance on your right hand, the outer edge of your right foot, and lift the left arm up to the sky. And then the first stage is you step your left foot forward, and then you heel toe the left foot closer to the right leg. And then you place the left foot onto the right leg for tree pose. And then you hold on to your toes and stretch the leg. full downward facing dog. So stay awake to this breath, this moment. Go to the second side, left hand, outer edge of the left foot. Think just stage by stage here. You stop and play at any of the stages. Right foot steps forward, quite away from the leg. You could stay there. Second bus stop, heel toe the foot so that it's right against your left leg, more in a figure 4 shape. Stop and stay there. Or are you taking it to tree pose? Or are you taking it all the way to the extended pose, Vashisthasana? Everything comes back, downward facing dog. A good way to learn the alignment there is to do Anahatasana, do the endless pose down on the ground first. All right, we come back to child's pose. Give yourself a couple of breaths there. And then pop back up to all fours. I'm hoping that you guys have in your space a little bit of room to the rights and lefts of your yoga mat for your legs to go for this next set of poses. So from downward facing dog, pull the right knee into your chest and kind of hover forward like plank pose. And then you're going to step the right foot over to the left side underneath the body. And keep extending that leg out until you lay your hips down and your legs are like in an L shape. So your right leg is going under the body, out to the side, and I've got an L shape in the legs. And then I'm trying to twist and still look towards the short side of the mat and come down like I'm in chaturanga. Lower push-up, tricep push-up, elbows into the side there. Again, we're creating the shape on the ground first. Press through your hands, lift the chest back up. Press through your feet to lift the hips up and step it all the way back to downward facing dog. Pull the left knee into your chest and hover forward, and then shoot your left leg to the right side. Let your hips come down to the ground and your legs as much of an L shape as possible. I'm going to turn my visual. And if this front left leg doesn't have enough room in your space, just bend at the knee and you could be there. Come down like you're in chaturanga. Hover, hover, hover. And then press through both feet. Lift the hips up. And swing it all the way back to downward facing dog. Okay, lower the knees, have a seat on your heels, and let your hands work out a little bit. Circle one direction and circle the other direction. So this next and last arm balance pose is creating that same shape, but trying to lift it all the way up onto our upper arm bones so that we're hovering like chaturanga with our legs off of the ground. It's a big, big pose, and we just want to focus and be as sharp as we can. And the same stages apply down on the ground as they do a few inches higher up. Feel free to get the visual a little bit first and then to join in. So from downward facing dog again, we'll take the right knee into the chest. This time, step the right foot down and just heel toe it over towards the left wrist, but the leg is going to stay bent a lot. And then I've got to work my left arm around to the inside. And you're just kind of playing with all of the structure to get 2 flat hands on the ground and that left elbow, upper arm bone hooked to the outside of the right leg. Lean forward enough that your balance starts to take you like a pendulum, head a little forward and down and legs up. And then you work your way back out of the pose. Remembering, if keeping the legs down on the ground is the best stage for you today. And then we'll go to the second side. Left knee into the chest. There is absolutely no failure here. It's all the work in trying that counts. Step the left foot down, heel toe it more over to the right. You're just working it over because then we are going to pick up our hands and you're trying to do a twist. I'm always like moving my body in all sorts of strange contortions to try to get that right hand to the inside of the left thigh, outside of the left thigh. Transfer weight onto the left arm as much as you have the right. And then you work your way back to downward facing dog. Whew, right? I'll send around the video. This is a good one to try to piecemeal back together if it's important to you. A little leader. So downward facing dog here. Look forward to your hands and step or jump all the way to the front end of the mat. Standing forward fold, make the fingertips touch and get the legs as straight as they'll go. Sometimes I think those hard, twisted, lifted poses are all just for the benefit of remembering the enjoyment of something sweet like this. Forward fold, let it be. Then from your forward fold, bend your knees just a little bit more. At the very beginning, we did all fours with opposite arms and legs. It's like that, but we're standing on our feet and fingertips now. So I want your right foot to be on the floor. Extend the left leg back behind you and the right arm out in front. Keeping left fingertips, right foot on the ground, try to lift your left leg up. And then can your right hand hold on to your left foot there? Lift. Push your foot into your hand. And then lower the right hand down. Stretch the left leg and right leg as straight as they'll go. And lift the left hand up to the sky, half moon pose. Might feel a little freeing, a little extra open there. Lower the left hand and the left leg down to the mat. Again, bend in the knees so that you can easily have the hands and the feet flat on the ground. It's not a worry about getting the legs straight here. Okay, let's try it on the second side. So we're gonna tap the right toes back behind and lift the left arm. And then try lifting the right leg off of the ground. Belly a little away from the thigh if possible. Kick the right heel towards your butt, grab hold. Kick the heel more towards the right side so you re-square the hips and shoulders. And try to get some lift out of this pose. Some bit higher. And then to me it always feels good to change to the other side. Left hand, left foot down. Right hand, right foot up. Half moon, Ardha Chandrasana. Place both hands, both feet on the ground. Again, into the sweetness of the forward fold. Good news, it's all cool down from here. Downward facing dog. Pedal out the feet. Pigeon prep, bring the right knee behind the right wrist, heel towards the left hip, and then walk the back leg further back until more of the front of the left thigh is on the ground. Come down to the forearms. If for any reason this brings pain to your knee, your hips, you can lie down onto your back instead and do a figure 4 shape in the legs. It'll hit the same outer hip glute muscles. We are slowing this one down. We stay alert, focused, and yet longer, calmer, fuller breath. Walk back up to your hands. We're going to roll over towards the right side and bring the left leg, the back leg, all the way around to the front. Adding this into a twist, set the left foot to the outside of the right thigh. If tucking this back heel underneath is too much, just extend the leg out in front instead. And we'll add the twist. So this should mirror the hook that you did to get into that last arm balance pose. It's the same hook here. So one way to practice the arm balance is to practice this twist. On an inhale, come out of the twist. If your bottom heel is locked underneath, go ahead and slide it out. And then both legs out in front, both arms up to the sky. Seated forward fold, Paschimottanasana. We're looking for a pretty equal stretch through the legs and the length of the spine here. The spine can round a little bit as you fold over. It's only natural. We just want a nice even curve. I always like to think of a rainbow curve, long and extended. All right, come on back up. We need to do this on the second side. You can start in downward facing dog to get there, or just kind of stay low on the mat. Left knee forward, heel towards the right hip, right leg swings back behind you. So wherever you get into it, pigeon prep, come down to the forearms, stay just a little while. Then bring your torso back upright, lean onto the left hip. Right leg circles out to the front and adds the twist. I just want to face you guys. So as you place the foot over, try to get it flat, both sides of the butt on the ground. That's a good indication whether the heel should be in or out. If you're all propped up, then take the heel out and see if you can't sit back down on both sides. Twist. Every twist, lift on the inhale, take the movement of the spine on the exhale. And next inhale, come out of your twist. Extend both legs out in front of you. Seated forward fold again. Go for the long spine. Let the arms drop to the floor or to the legs. And then a nice, slow, even rounding through the spine is fine. Here, you can make this more accessible by bending your knees, taking a little bit of the unneeded strain out of the hamstrings to get you more into a nice firm stretch in the back. And then bring yourself back upright. Get one more full body stretch, front of the body here. Take your hands back behind you. You can think of yourself like a slide from the head down to the feet. So to make that happen, we've got to lift our hips up. Press down through the hands. Nice long stretch to the front side of the body and to the shoulders for sure. Try to keep your feet flat on the ground. And lower the hips back down. You can lie all the way down onto your mat and pull your knees into your chest. Nice little hug. Rock from side to side. And then hold just your right knee and let the left leg go down to the mat. And take your right thigh across the body. So I'm going to try to form the picture of that last twisted arm balance that we did down here on the mat. It all teaches us good things. Arms straight up towards the sky. And then try to lift your head and shoulders off of the mat. Sometimes I work so much to try to hook the left elbow to the outside of the right knee and really form the picture of the pose. Balance all over the place. And then you can unwind it and take your left knee in. But doing that same picture of your pose in all different planes can be, I think, super helpful to figuring out what are the keys that are keeping me from that lift off. What do I need to work a little bit more for? Maybe it's just the patience in the brain. That's always mine. All right, and then we'll bring it back in. Happy baby. Yogis, we're done with the movement. If there's anything left for you, if you need a little bit more unwinding, one more pose, do it here. Give yourself about 60 seconds for that last little bits of unwinding. I know some of you have a very safe inversion practice, a headstand or a shoulder stand that works well for you at home. It's always a good time to add that in. I don't teach much inversions. It's just not mine. And then when you are ready, settle out into Shavasana. Extend the arms and legs. Here in your stillness, if the brain is racing around, trying to make your to-do list of the day, try to tack it back in for just 2 more minutes. Give all of your attention to the incoming and outgoing of the breath. It is the most important thing right now. Your stillness, your release. If you need a little more time there, please take it. For those looking to close with me on the hour, take your time to come back to a seated position. As you sit well, close the eyes, turn the gaze low for just another moment. Perhaps labeling one or two things that you felt really sharp and awake to through this practice and how they can help you in this day. And then bring the palms together, the thumbs to the sternum in a sign of gratitude. And I like to close us in the sound of Om. You're welcome to sing along. You are, of course, welcome to listen. The sound of Om is often said to be the sound of the universal. It brings power to what comes after it. All right. Empty out the breath. And then take a deep breath in. Bow in full gratitude, honor to yourself, each other, this practice. Namaste.